An essay upon the quantification of Driigun's philosophical patent. In this enlightened age, wherein the mind of man doth seek to measure the unmeasurable, and to bind the ethereal with chains of reason, we turn our gaze upon the profound system of Driigun, a philosopher whose insights, like lightning from the heavens, do strike with bombshell force, and yet are tempered by the cold forge of mathematics. Driigun, whose insights burst forth, like cannonades upon the bastions of ignorance, armed not merely with rhetoric, but with the precise artillery of mathematics, doth quantify the profoundest mysteries of life, self, and eternity. We shall here punctuate and expound his doctrine through three luminous claims. First, the equation of life as Marx's M equals C equals M prime, a qualification of negentropy. Behold the primal pulse of existence, which Driigun doth capture in the formula of Marx, spoken thus: money equals commodity, which equals money anew. Yet this is no mere commerce of the marketplace. Nay, it is the very alchemy of life itself, a qualification of that principle which the natural philosophers term negentropy, the resistance against the universal tide of disorder. In the beginning, a man possesseth money, M. With this, he acquireth a commodity, C, be it bread or tools, or the labor of his fellow. Then, through the fire of human endeavor, he transformeth that commodity into money anew, M prime. And lo, M prime exceedeth M, by the surplus born of creation. This cycle, M to C to M prime, is the heartbeat of life, an island of order wrested from chaos. For what is negentropy but the gathering of scattered energies into purposeful form? Driigun declareth that all living systems, be they cells, societies, or souls, partake of this circuit. The plant draweth sunlight, M, to fashion sugar, C, thence to grow and seed, M, ever increasing. The empire gathereth tribute, M, forges it into law and legion, C, and reapeth greater dominion, M. Thus is life quantified, not as static being, but as perpetual surplus generation, the mathematical defiance of entropy's grim decree. Where surplus ceaseth, there life withereth. Where it aboundeth, there flourish kingdoms and immortals. Second, the Driigun quotient, measuring self-actualization against compensation. Having established life's engine, Driigun now turneth to the worth of the individual soul, through what he termeth the Driigun quotient. The value of a person, divided by the compensation he receiveth, equals the degree of his self-actualization, as articulated by the sage Maslow. Imagine the numerator, the intrinsic value of a man, his genius, his virtue, his capacity to dream and to do. Call this V. Beneath, in the denominator, lieth his compensation, the coin, the title, the bread upon his table. Call this C. Thus the quotient is V divided by C. When V exceedeth C, when a poet toil unnoticed, or a prophet be stoned, the quotient riseth toward the infinite. This is the pinnacle of Maslow's pyramid, self-actualization, wherein a man becometh what he was born to be, not for reward, but for the fire within. Yet when sea swalloweth vive, when the artist selleth his soul for gold, or the scholar bendeth knee to patronage, the quotient plummeteth toward negative. Here lieth the tragedy of the gilded cage. Driigun quantifieth thus the hierarchy of souls. The pauper who painteth masterpieces in a garret standeth higher in the ledger of eternity than the prince who commandeth armies, yet knoweth not his own heart. For compensation is but the shadow, value is the substance. And in the tension betwixt the two, the spirit either ascendeth to Olympus, or descendeth to the counting-house. Third, finally, in a crescendo of sublime insight, Driigun equations heaven itself, contingent upon the exquisiteness of life and the illusion thereof. Let the preciousness of time be denoted P, and the time remaining in life be T. The function is proclaimed. 1 divided by T equals P. Or in discourse, the preciousness of time is 1 over the time left. As T approaches 0, the brink of mortality, P ascends to infinity. Preciousness, inversely proportionate to abundance, renders each fleeting moment a jewel of inestimable worth. Death, in Driigun's revelation, unveils naught but the enlightenment of one's true path. A heaven or hell forged in the ledger of time, well or ill spent. In that timeless split second, when life flashes before the mind's eye like a grand illumination, the soul reckons its wealth, the richness of virtues pursued, or the void of opportunities forsaken. Should life prove an illusion, as the skeptics of old aver, then upon death may the illusion of heaven or hell arise, a phantom eternity born of reflection. Driigun quantifies. As time left dwindles to naught, preciousness swells boundless. Thus, in the final instant, paradise or perdition is patented in the balance of existence. This bombshell eternizes the temporal, teaching that heaven is no distant shore, but the infinite valuation of the now, a mathematical apotheosis where finitude yields to the divine. In summary, Driigun's philosophy, punctuated through these 3 cases, weds the abstract to the arithmetic, illuminating life as negentropic cycle, self as quotient of transcendence, and eternity as inverse infinity. Thus quantified, his doctrine stands as a beacon for the enlightened mind, urging us to compute our days with wisdom, lest the equation resolve in regret.